Meaningful moments, they don't come to us spontaneously. They just don't poof out of nowhere and all of a sudden you're inspired and you want to go and create. Yeah, sure, that might happen occasionally. You might see something and be like, oh, I really like that. Oh, I'm going to go and do this. Or I just had an epiphany and this is how I'm going to go do it. Sure, but that's usually triggered by something else. It's not usually just, spontaneously combusting and you have this thought in your head. There's usually a series of events that will lead you up to that. But let me tell you, it's super simple to get yourself into that mindset space, to shift and focus. Instead of creating and seeking out meaningful moments, you create opportunities that lead to having a lot of meaning to you. And those can be as simple as taking your dog out for a walk, going to your favorite art museum, going to your favorite lake, being able to enjoy the moments that truly mean something to you. So that can be hanging out with your family, seeing a loved one, hanging out with your friends, cr- creating things, doing crafts, doing small little activities, reading a good book, working in your garden. That could be anything that means something to you. And what I mean by mean something to do you, I don't mean that there's like some sort of like, oh, this is like, this means something, this is going to be incredible. This is going to be like, whatever. Who cares? What I mean by that is it's something that you enjoy, that you plan to do, and that you enjoy doing it. And even if it's not something that you plan to do, so let me dive into a few things for me. I enjoy coffee. I have ADHD, if you haven't noticed, and coffee really doesn't do anything for me. I could drink coffee at 6 o'clock at night. I could drink coffee at 6 in the morning. It doesn't do anything. But I love the smell and I love the taste. And well, depending on what type of coffee it is, as we all know, there are different variations. Anyways, so I enjoy taking the moment and just being there with my cup of coffee or being with my friends while we're drinking a cup of coffee. Um, I enjoy, walking my dog and seeing, one of those big fat fuzzy, bees just hanging out at one of the bushes, the small things that resonate with me, that I personally enjoy, that I have a connection to. And even if it's not something that I have a connection to, um, it's something out there in the world that has crossed its path with you. So I put together a little reel, ooh, if I can speak, of some of the things that I enjoy. And some of these I've taken recently and some of them I have not. And they are things that bring me joy, that I have found meaning in. And they weren't orchestrated. They weren't, okay, let's go do this and we're going to go do that. Some of them were activities that, I set, in doing, but in the moment, they just enjoying the time, enjoying the people that I was with. And and that's what fills my heart, is seeing that joy and the happiness that those around me are in. So what I'm saying to you is that if you don't have an hour to journal or meditate in the morning, just when you have a chance, recognize what's around you and being grateful to be in those moments and seeing those small little beauty, you know, are stellar. I mean, there's just nothing more to it. I've had some pretty crappy situations. And even within those crappy situations, there's always some sort of golden light. There's always some sort of thread of happiness and joy. Um, you know, I, I don't even have enough time to go into it. But, anyways, enjoy the next montage here if you want to. Otherwise, I will see you later. I'll give you some more hints of things that you can do to create if you do have more time. But this I wanted to start with is the simplest thing that you can do. It's just shifting your mind and being in the moment. There's this one guy, and I don't remember his last name, but his name was Phil, and he's on YouTube here somewhere. And he had a story about being a dot. And that I think is the best thing, where you're not living in the past, you're not living in the future, you're living in the present, which is a singular dot. So live in the moment, live, be that dot, live right here, right now, and breathe in, the great, you know, everything around you that you can find to be grateful for, whether it's the weather not raining on you, or if you're like me and you like it where it's overcast and cool, but you still like the sun because you like to garden. Anyways, I am rambling on, sorry, ADHD. So I will talk to y'all later. All right, have a good one. Bye.